Format today, the broadcast section first, and then we'll stop halfway through for the dailies. If you'd like to ask a question, please use the wave function. We will then promote you to a panelist where you can unmute yourself to ask the question. We'll begin with Ian Bolton at Sky Sports News.
Afternoon, Frank. You good?
Yes, good, thank you.
Good. Let's make a start. How's the squad looking for this match? Ngolo Kante came off against Watford. Is he going to be okay? And how do things stand with Tomori and Kovacic?
Yeah, Kante won't be in the squad. Hurt his hamstring, low-level hamstring injury. So we're hoping it'll be a week or so. Kovacic trained with us today. He's not ready for this game. Hopefully the next. And Tomori still not ready. Had a small setback in training. Hopefully next week.
As far as Ngolo Kante is concerned, he'll miss Palace and Sheffield United.
We'll play that one as it goes, but I would expect we'll be very lucky to have him for Sheffield United.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other concerns?
No, we're all good after that.
Okay. Look, 3 wins out of 4 in the Premier League since the restart. Just the one defeat after the weekend win over Watford and the manner in which you played. Do you sense that things are very much back on track?
I'm not sure they were off track, and I'm not sure we're back on track because every game is another obstacle in the Premier League. They're all difficult, so we know what we've got in front of us now. Short period of games that are going to get us hopefully to where we want to be in the season or not. So we just have to take it at face value. Crystal Palace, a very difficult team to play against, a very good team. Very organised, good individual players that can hurt you as well defensively. So I'm not too concerned of where we're at. I just want us to approach the game in the right way.
Sure, but 4th in the table. Of those below you, I suppose Manchester United are closest, just 2 points behind. Are they also the biggest threat?
From behind? Well, yeah, they're closest. They're a very strong team. They're in great form for a long period of time. They've got, really good players, really good individual players. And you've seen the momentum they gained at this part of the season. Individual across their front three, all scoring lots of goals. So, yeah, they're the biggest threat from behind, I guess. But as I said before, this is the Premier League. And it looks that way today. It's how us as teams now finish this season, game by game.
Finally, from me, I just want to get your thoughts about the drinks breaks at the midway point of the first and the second half. Chris Wilder is against them. He's called them a tactical break, and it's now becoming a match of 4 quarters. Does he have a point?
Yeah, I think he does. I think they were brought in with the right intention. So as a coach, obviously, you try and use it if you can, because any moment to speak with the players during game can be pretty precious. So I don't think it's an uneven playing field in that sense. We all have the same periods to talk to our players. So I thought it was brought in place for this short period of the season, and maybe they'll see it through to the end of the season. I can't see it going any further than that. I don't think anybody would want that.
Okay, we'll go to Moose at Talk Sport.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Moose.
Can you just talk to me a bit about the pressure now with 5-6 games to go on you and the team to finish in the top 4? Because, you were a rookie manager in the Premier League when it started. You've been there a year now. But what's the pressure on you and the team going forward for the last 5-6 games?
Yeah, I think the pressure ramps up without a doubt. I think game by game, results around you can affect it. We had both ends of that, pre-West Ham and then pre-Watford, where the pressure was there for different reasons. I enjoy it. It's something I was used to as a player. I think as a manager, you certainly take more on board than as an individual player. So that's been slightly different for me because you take the expectations of the club and the fans, etc. So that ramps up, but that's what we're in it for. That's what it's all about. And, all I want to do now is make sure we get everything right that we can control, which is preparation, maintaining ourselves in between games and making sure that we recover right. And prepare for each game as they come. Those rules remain the same, and we have to handle the pressure.
Mason's had a terrific first season. So too has Tammy as a real starter in the Premier League. But 2 players that have kind of got lost a little bit Callum HudsonOdoi and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, mainly because of injuries, not their fault. But going forward, because you've got such exciting players like Ziyech and Werner coming in, how much is the last 5-6 games important for them to play as much as possible, but also to show you and everybody else that they're worth the hype we had beforehand for them?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, they're both sort of slightly similar cases, different in their own way, because Ruben literally played no games for a long, long time, and just before the lockdown period, and he was just trying to find. We were trying to find him some games which we couldn't. The 23s weren't playing at the right time. So for Ruben, I think this little period has been great for him to get fit. He is pretty fit, but the reality is next season will be the one with another mini pre-season that he'll be really firing for. And I'm really excited for those times. That's not to say he won't contribute now. He's coming off the bench. He may start some games. He gives us something really different. And with Callum, I think he's the same. He's played more games than Ruben this year. And I think he really needs to work hard daily in training and do the right things daily. And when he gets his opportunities, whether from the bench or to start, really show input in games, really show a difference. You know, we're seeing at the moment with what Christian Pulisic and what Willian are doing in the team. And when Callum comes into the team or comes on or starts, he has to show something similar in what he can do for us. So they're both young, and I both believe and trust in them. And this little mini period is good. They can certainly make impacts in their own ways.
John Southall, TV5 Live.
Hi Frank, how are you doing?
Hi, good, thanks.
No Kante, so is this the time for Jorginho to come back in, and how's he taken not playing? Because obviously he's a player who's been used to playing pretty much all the time.
Yeah, he's been very professional about it. He wants to play as every player does. It's one of the hardest parts of the job is telling the player they're not playing or picking a squad and leaving out players, particularly when they train well. And Jorginho always trains well. But he's handled it professionally, and that's what I'd expect. It's important that players, through the course of a long season, in a competitive squad like we have, are there to support players when they're playing and they're out. And he's done that, to be fair. So we'll see. We'll see with my selection tomorrow.
Well, what's the thinking been behind not playing him? Because I think I'm right in saying before the lockdown, he started 23 of the 29 games, and he's yet to feature. What's your thinking been there?
I don't want to go into the personal details of positional and tactical and why I pick a team. I just have to pick a team as I see best. So they're just my choices.
Okay, Ian Irvin, PLP.
Hello, Frank. I was interested in what you said before about welcoming the pressure and the way that the dynamic of different results around you affects your team. A lot of managers would say that they just want their players to ignore what's happening around them in the table. Do you actually embrace that more?
I think the reality is that I'd like to think they're not ignoring what's happening around them. Football's on. It's never been more on TV or viewed than it is at this moment in time. I expect them to buy into that and want to see what results are happening around us. I think that's pretty much human nature. And on a sporting level, I think that means that you care and you want to see what's happening. And then there has to be a slight switch off and a flip to the fact that you focus on yourself. So we can't control the other games. We're interested in them, but we can certainly control what we do. So it can fire you up a little bit, seeing what's happening around you. But the positioning we're in means a lot is in our own hands. And that's the main thing. When we train, when we prepare, when we play, that we focus absolutely on how we put out the best performance.
Okay, last two in this section, Jerry Cox, followed by Dom Farrell.
Hi, Frank. You okay?
Hi, Joe. Yeah, good. Thank you.
If it wasn't for the pandemic, we'd be in the middle of Euro 2020, I think. And it's been put back a year. And a lot of people saying that's good for England because there's so many young players coming through. I mean, we see Mason Greenwood at United. But looking through your team, there's, 5 there already and possibly Reece James who might come into it. Do you think Chelsea are in the position where you could be providing the future of the England team for a few years to come now?
I'm not sure about that. I've spoken so much about the younger players this year, and they've all deserved their praise at the right times. But it will always be on them individually in their England careers as to how they go forwards. Whether it's how they train here, how they play here. It means selection, which means when they go, can they train well enough? Can they play well enough to stay and be important to the England team? So I don't think I can sit here now and say my 5 and 6 are going to do that for this period of time. Individually, they will all have their own aims. They certainly will have capabilities to be big parts of Chelsea's future and hopefully England, but that's in their hands.
Okay, last question, Dom Farrell from Perform.
Hi there, Frank. Yeah, just a quick one on Christian Pulisic, who I know there's been a little bit of talk last few weeks of people comparing to Eden Hazard, and maybe that's not a route you want to go down. But I was wondering if you could explain, having played with Eden, what makes Christian different? What are some of his different qualities that, maybe some of us aren't looking at when we're trying to make that comparison?
Well, having played with Eden and see him come to the club at a relatively young age, similar to Christian, and we saw the development of him. But he had a special talent straight away of being able to receive a ball and have great balance and go past players so well. And he would almost draw a lot of players towards him to open up space for others, and he was pretty unselfish in how he would make assists in that way. I think with Christian, he's possibly more direct in his style sometimes in terms of how he goes past players and runs off the ball, which I like. Eden would come and get the ball and take it past players a lot. I think with Christian, I think sometimes he has the real ability to break a line and run forward, which is a really great trait in the modern game. In terms of the comparison, is why I stayed away from it a bit the other night, is because Eden has been here and done it and did it to an incredible level, and Christian has it in his hands to go and make a real impact over a real period of time. And the thing I'm so happy with now is that when we are playing teams and the games are tough and you have to find it hard to break teams down, he's taking responsibility to change it in moments he has by using his ability to turn quickly and go past people. It's been great to see, and I keep saying there's a lot of development to come with Christian. I'm very happy with him.
Okay, that's the end of the broadcast section.